food related for your student. So this is my intern. This is also Chrissy, the marketing assistant. This is Megan, an actual student here on campus. I say actual student as if that's weird.
Not a fake student.
She's really great at answering questions for your students at the information booth tomorrow too, to help them really get better on which meal plan to choose. It's a common question. I actually have a video that we made so that I don't have to stand up here and talk for 25 minutes straight. You can watch a fun, cheesy video on our dining program. So I'm going to go ahead and get that started. Please save all your questions for the end of that. And if you see the flyer on your chair, there's going to be a quiz inside. So make sure you fill this out during the video. Have your student bring it up to our information booth tomorrow, and they will get a free tumbler. Which they can use at our retail locations. So I'll go over more of that after the video, but we'll go ahead and just get this started.
Hello, welcome to Creighton Dining 101. My name is Miss Anita Eat. Sounds like someone's hungry.
Yeah, I forgot my lunch today.
Looks like you need a meal plan.
A meal plan? What's that?
That's where I come in. I'll teach you all about meal plans. First, you need to have a Creighton Student ID card. That's how you'll be able to access your meal plan, dining dollars, and J-Bucks.
What's the difference between dining dollars and J-Bucks?
Dining dollars are connected to your individual meal plan. The dining dollars account can only be used at university food service locations on campus. By default, transactions at these locations will access your dining dollars first, then J-Bucks. Any dining dollars remaining at the end of the semester will be lost. On the other hand, J-Bucks work as a debit card, allowing you to pre-deposit money for spending. Funds loaded remain valid as long as you are at Creighton, meaning they carry over each semester. So whether you're doing a load of laundry, using the printer, buying a sweatshirt at the bookstore, getting a snack from the vending machine, or grabbing a latte at Starbucks, your J-Bucks account is the easy way to pay.
I see. So how many dining dollars come with the meal plan?
Well, the amount of dining dollars available to you each semester depends upon the meal plan you have selected. A meal plan comes with a combination of meals, dining dollars, and guest passes. There are many different combinations that you can choose from, which we will talk about in a minute.
How do I know what meal plan's best for me?
Well, that depends on your lifestyle. Before choosing a meal plan, you should ask yourself a few questions. How many meals do you plan on eating on campus every week? Are you going to be on campus over the weekend, or do you go home? Do you consider yourself a breakfast eater? Traditional meal plan options include Option 1, 9 meals per week with $550 to spend each semester and 5 guest passes. Option 2 includes 12 meals per week with $460 dining dollars to spend each semester and 5 guest passes. Option 3, 15 meals per week with $360 dining dollars to spend each semester and 5 guest passes. Or you can choose option 4, the all-access plan with $150 dining dollars to spend each semester and 5 guest passes. These options are required for freshman and sophomore students living on campus. I recommend the 15 meal plan. This allows you 3 meals per day, Monday through Friday. This also gives you the option to eat breakfast on Saturday and Brandeis by opting out of another meal during the week. You can take the $360 and spend that throughout the semester at any one of our retail locations on campus, such as Starbucks or Wareham Court on the weekends. If you are an upperclassman or commuter, you will most likely be looking at our 3 flex plan options, which include Option 1, 45 meals per semester with $325 dining dollars. Option 2, 65 meals per semester with $400 dining dollars. Option 3, 90 meals per semester with $450 dining dollars. All of the meal plans cost the same amount. The only difference between them is how the meal swipes and dining dollars are allocated. The more meal swipes per week you have, the less dining dollars per semester you will have, and vice versa.
What about my friends? One's vegan, one's gluten-free, and one is lactose intolerant.
If you have any food allergies or restrictions, look for this flyer around the dining halls or contact our executive chef, Tazos Kimpianos, directly.
Where can I eat at Creighton?
There are several dining locations on campus. Brandeis Hall is located right across from Creighton Hall and is a buffet-style setup. It is the only dining hall on campus that serves breakfast. For breakfast, you can get Belgian waffles, made-to-order omelets, or hot and cold cereal. It's the only dining hall that is also open on the weekend. As for lunch and dinner, you can get cook-to-order options, burgers, sandwiches and wraps, pizza, vegetarian options, soup and salad, and dessert. Look for our Global Chef program in the spring, where we will feature one of Sodexo's top chefs worldwide to travel to our campus and share authentic international cuisine with staff and students. Simply to Go is a great option for students on the go. At Simply to Go, you can pick one entree, one side, one drink, and one treat, and pack it in a to-go bag. Simply to Go makes it easy to take lunch to class or back to your dorm room. You can find Simply to Go locations next to Brandeis, inside Becker, or inside Jack and Ned's and Wareham Court. Becker Dining Hall is located inside Kiewit Hall and is a buffet-style meal. Inside Becker, there is a large soup and salad bar. You can also get vegetarian dishes, cook-to-order options, comfort foods, and home-style meals. Make sure to check out one of our many themed weekly events at Becker Hall, including Sunday Fun Day, Beach Theme, Hollywood Night, Premium Night, and holiday celebrations. During these events, there will be themed music and a photo booth station with props. Harper Dining Hall is located inside of the Harper Center on the east side of campus. Harper is known for its mindful menu, which includes entrees packed with protein under 600 calories. Many of our athletes eat here as it fits within their fitness plans. However, the dining hall is open to anyone. You may use your dining dollars at Wareham Court or Starbucks, which are both located in the Scott Student Center. Wareham Court features Main Bowl, Godfathers, Herbert and Gerbert's, sushi, and Simply to Go with heat-to-eat options. Java J is located on the lower level of McGloin Hall and features late-night menu options like Taco Tuesday and Wing Wednesday, smoothies, and open mic night. Located inside Scott, Jack and Ed's Marketplace offers Simply to Go, toiletries, Godfathers, espresso coffee, and convenience store options. Inside the Harper Center, Brujay is a made-to-order sandwich and coffee shop with grab-and-go options.
Wow, that's a lot of dining locations to choose from.
Yes, we also have a few different apps to make your life easier. First, using Sodexo's Bite app, you can check out what's at the resident dining menu for the day, track your favorite foods, and check out the nutritional information. There is also a MyFitnessPal app that you can use to scan the barcode items such as packaged goods, or even barcodes located next to the food items in the dining halls in order to keep track of your nutrition information.
My upperclassmen friends talk about dining events. How do I know when they're going on?
Here at Creighton Dining, we love to make campus dining fun. In fact, last semester we were named top 39 best college dining experiences by collegerank.net. We regularly post information about events, limited time offers, and weekly happenings on Facebook, Twitter, and Snapchat. Take some time right now to add Creighton Dining on social media. Then, during the semester, keep your eyes peeled for any events and themed meals. Check out our dining website, creighton.sodexomyway.net, for news and information about our dining program. Parents, click on the Shop Now link for information on how to surprise your student with a variety of delicious homemade baked goods, such as our double-layer birthday cake, frosted brownies, and cupcakes. All orders will be delivered to your student in a convenient reusable tote.
I'm looking for a job on campus. Do you have any openings?
If you'd like to earn income while on campus, a job at Creighton University Dining Services may be just what you're looking for. Flexible hours, competitive wages, and the benefits of working close to home are just a few of the perks. You'll meet a lot of people. Marketing internships are available too. Click on the Careers tab on our dining website, or interested job seekers may apply at sodexousa.jobs and sodexo.bouncetrack.com, or download our Sodexo Jobs app for smartphones and tablets. We want to make your dining experience as enjoyable as possible. We are always looking to improve our dining program, and you can help by becoming a mystery shopper and earn extra dining dollars, or become a member of our Student Culinary Council, where you can share your thoughts and concerns with our management team. For more information, email dining@creighton.edu. For immediate issues, please feel free to ask any Sodexo staff member to bring you to the manager of that location. On behalf of the Creighton Dining team, best of luck this year with your studies. We look forward to seeing you around campus.
Okay, so that was a pretty brief overview of our very expansive dining program here on campus. We have gone through a few changes, so if you've been to campus before, You might know a few of these already, but Bird Feeder downstairs was a large convenience store that we previously had, and it has shut down now, and so we have other developments happening on campus to make room for other new things. We have Jack and Nick's Marketplace. If you haven't been there yet, it's in the Scott Student Center right across from Starbucks. Make sure you check it out. It's pretty nice. We also have Viva Box, which is one of our new items that we can sell on our Sodexo MyWay site, which is another option for you to surprise your student instead of baked goods. It's no refrigeration necessary. It's a green box like this. The items inside are nutritional shakes, vegan shakes. We have organic items. We have a fun speaker box, a selfie stick. It's things that you can't find on our campus, and you can purchase that online, even tonight if you wanted to, for your students staying on campus to share with their new friends. We'd actually deliver it to where they're staying. So if you're interested in that, make sure you go on our site and order by 4 o'clock so we can get it delivered in time. It's the creighton.sodexomyway.net, and it's in the black brochure on the blue little box. Or, I'm sorry, it's right here too, if you can see that little tiny part there. So if you're interested in that, otherwise it will be available for next semester too, and the quiz that you're filling out for your student to bring to us tomorrow, you'll actually get a free tumbler, and there's a tag there that will explain in more detail the baked goods that you can surprise them. The students love it. We actually take it to their front desk, like a birthday cake with balloons. And so if you're interested in surprising your student, maybe they did really well on a presentation, or they have a birthday, then that's a great way to do it. And it comes from our bakery here on campus. We also have a event tonight that will kind of is directed towards students that have dietary restrictions, or maybe they're just curious about the culinary arts that we do here on campus. So they want to meet the chefs. That's tonight from 4:30 to 6:30 at the student dinner in Brandeis Hall. Parents, you'll be at a different location, so make sure you encourage them to go talk to the chefs. They will be in full dress chef coats. Pardon this. I'm going to open the floor to any questions for meal plans, and I love to talk, so please ask me questions.
So if we're going to do I don't know where my son's staying.
Oh, okay. Will you be in touch with your student, like text messaging or
I see.
phone?
So they'll know.
They should know, I
Okay.
believe. They've already checked in. I mean, they should. I actually don't know the whole process of what your student has done today, but I've seen a lot of them with their suitcases and their pillows. I would imagine they do know where they're staying. If not, if they don't know the room number or they can't remember, just the front desk is fine, because we can't actually take it to the room number. We have to drop it off at the front desk. So, yes.
Okay, so $90 can only be used in the dining hall.
Mm-hmm.
So anything.
No, $90, I'm sorry, I said that wrong. $90 is used on retail locations here on campus, so it's like cash,
Those are
basically.
J-Bucks, is that what they're calling them?
No, $90
totally
is separate,
different.
yep. $90 is actually what comes with your meal plan. So they can use it to buy their Starbucks coffee, their
Okay.
fruit, their water bottles, their toiletries, food court options, anything they want. Now they can use it in the dining halls to purchase their actual all-you-care-to-eat style buffet, but usually they use their swipe. And that's where the meals come in. Two separate things, but they can use $90 to pay for that too. So yes. Yeah. Do you have a question? Yes.
I'm confused about the card with the ID card and like possibly putting money on it. Is that like a normal debit card that you use anywhere, or is that just for like on campus purchases?
I'm glad you asked that, because we actually will flow really nicely right into card services with Brenda Hudson. She's going to explain everything J-Bucks related. I'm going to save that question for when she presents. But I did see another hand up real quick. Was it about meal plans?
I was just curious, do freshmen usually gain weight?
You know what's funny about that is, I've been a college student, and we have college students here. We actually, Megan, did you gain weight? No, I'm just joking, don't answer that.
We can't answer that.
Right, I mean, I think it's based off of, like, okay, so every dining hall is different, and the one that's in the freshman dorm called Hewitt Hall is Becker Dining Hall, and it's actually, like, more for the freshmen. It's cooking home-style meals. It's the things that your students might be missing from home. So it's more like spaghetti, mac and cheese, maybe mom's meatloaf recipe, things like that. So it's really based off of what they choose to eat. They're not forced to get any plate. They're not forced to fill up their tray. We don't even have trays. We're a trayless campus for sustainability purposes. But they can decide, do they want that chicken? Do they want that heaping plate of mashed potatoes and gravy? I mean, it's really up to your student. But we encourage them to make healthy choices, so we do have the menu options that show the nutritional ingredients on every item. We have full service salad bars. They can go up as many times as they want. They can get grilled chicken. You know, they don't have to get the 5 cookies at the buffet, but they're really good though. They should try them at least one time. So I, you know, as a student back in the day, I didn't gain weight until like my sophomore or junior year, really, because freshman year I was like, what should I eat? You know, I didn't even know. So, but that's, every student is different. So I think it's just based off of the routine that your student falls into. Yes.
What is the culture on campus about breakfast? So like, my son isn't a huge breakfast eater now, but I was supposed to be at an 8 o'clock class, and a lot of people go to breakfast. He's super social, so he would probably do that. But if nobody's at breakfast,
Yeah.
he wouldn't eat breakfast. You know
I'd
what I mean?
say our breakfast is pretty full. I mean, there's quite a few students in there when I've seen them, and if they're not at breakfast, they're in line at Starbucks for 45 minutes before class.
Okay.
So if your student's not a coffee drinker now, they will be. I almost say it like that because that's a social event for them. But the dining halls, the Brandeis Dining Hall does offer the hot breakfast. And yeah, I mean, it's pretty full from what we've seen, students going in there. And if they miss it, there's grab-and-go hot options at Bruges. There, you know, sandwiches, the Starbucks has the food, things like that. So I'm a social breakfast person too, but it's hard to get up in the morning sometimes. Yes.
I'm not asking a question, sorry, but I asked. The difference between the flex meal and the traditional meal plans, on the traditional meal, if they miss the meal, then is it gone, or does it carry over?
They get the meals per week, so Sunday through Saturday, so they can use those however they'd like. And if you're looking at option 1, 2, or 3, those have to be 1 per meal period. Meal period being like lunch from 11 to 2, for example. If they have the all access, they can use multiple meal swipes during that 1 meal period. So that works really well for athletes. Maybe they get dinner before practice, and then they come back to the dining hall after practice. So that'd be multiple swipes, 1 meal period. The other ones would just be 1 swipe, stay for 4 hours. If you wanted to eat 5 cheeseburgers and 3 ice cream cones, we're not going to tell you what not to eat, but that would just be 1 time.
That's the traditional meal time.
Flex plans are for commuters or upperclassmen, so we generally don't talk about that with the freshman orientation groups. So, yes.
And just to clarify, the all access is the same price as the other options, it's just fewer flex.
Yep, they're all the same price. It's just the dining dollars is less. They spend most of their time in the dining halls rather than going to the Starbucks or the food court options, things like that. So, good questions. Thank you, guys. I'm going to go ahead and transfer it over to Brenda Hupton, Card Services, and I am here to answer other questions or see you smart.
Good afternoon. My name is Brenda Hupton. I'm the director. I'm the director of Card Services here at Creighton University. So we've captured about 77 really great smiles. Some of the nicest smiles I've seen in at least a couple of days. But there's about 60 some odd more out there. There's 180 students who have registered for today's summer preview, or today and tomorrow's summer preview. So when you connect with your student next, please ask them if they've had their picture taken for their student ID. We are producing these cards and giving them out at the information fair tomorrow from 11 to 1. My office is located in this building. We're in the lower level, suite 1094. We're there from 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. So if we don't catch them today, please catch them tomorrow. I know when they come down that staircase and they make that U-turn and they start to head towards Card Services, they saw this really long line and said, oh, I think I'll skip it. They will be in line with about 80 of their newest friends, no doubt. But if they wait until fall when they come back, they will be in line with about 2,000 of their newest friends. So it's not, in my mind anyway, it's not a really tough choice to make. If you can get this taken care of while you're here this summer, let's get this off your list. So what we do is we capture the student's image. We ask them how many parent connection cards they would like. A parent connection card has the same information on the front that's on the student ID, plus our website. But the real gem about this card is on the back. The back has a series of all the phone numbers that you might ever want to use on campus. So the business office is on here, the registrar's office is on here, student life, res life, public safety, dining services. All of the resident hall reception desks are on here. We asked the student how many they'd like. This young lady wanted 2. But if you think that there's a godparent or an aunt or an uncle that would like one, we don't have a limit on these. We'll make as many of these as you'd like. Your student gets to be a junior or senior and you've misplaced yours, we're happy to print them over again. You just come into card services and ask us for a parent connection card for your student. They're very, very helpful. We will put these all in a nice keychain. It's got a coupon in it for the bookstore, and we will have these ready for your student tomorrow at the information fair. We put them in keychains, and these keychains are available in card services year-round because we don't want them putting holes in their card. Their card has a computer chip in it. It's a passive chip with a number on it. The number's printed on the back of the card. But they work in all of our card readers. As you're going in and out of these rooms, you're noticing the card readers by the doors. We have over 700 of those card readers on campus, and your student will swipe their card often to gain access to goods and services on campus. And so we don't want them punching holes in their card. So we give them the tools that they need to take real good care of their card. They just got to come in and get them as they need them. When your student is on campus and utilizing their card, I want you to think of their card like a hammer in a toolbox. You could hang a picture in the dining room. You could fix the squeaky basement step, or maybe that garage door that keeps slamming shut. A hammer is a good tool to use on all those projects, but those projects aren't interrelated. So as your student is using their card and they're getting borrowing privileges from the library, or they're visiting the student wellness center and exercising, maybe they're going to an athletic event, the dining hall, they're getting in and out of their residence halls, none of those things are necessarily related. They're not all on the same database. So if they're having any problems with their card, have them come back to card services. I know the questions to ask. 3 or 4 of those databases I can put my fingers on, and I can fix any challenges they might have. But if I can't put my fingers on the keyboard and fix their challenge, I know who can. And I know what's probably wrong, and I'll be able to communicate with that person and we'll get it fixed right away. So if your student's ID card is not working exactly the way they feel it should, just have them reach out to card services. We've got a phone, we've got an email address, we've got an office. We can be found in a lot of different ways. We're happy to help. The card does a lot of things on campus. If your student loses their card, say for example, they've gone to class, they drop it in their book bag, and they go back to the resident hall and they can't find it, neutralize the card. Our website is printed on the back of the card. One of the sessions when they come back in the fall, they're made familiar with the website so that they can neutralize their card. It's the same site that's on yours. We want them to neutralize their card so that we can neutralize the indoor access. If the student 2-3 hours later gets into their resident hall, dumps it out, their book bag out on their bed and actually finds their card, they just have to bring their card to card services. We're going to make sure that it's the right student and the right card, and we're going to turn it back on for them. If they never find their card, maybe it fell out of the book bag and they lost it on the sidewalk. Again, neutralizing that card is a very good idea. They come into my office a couple days later and they decide to replace it. The original card is permanently retired. All of the information on the new card has new numbers, it's new, it's different, and they just get to pick up and go right where they left off with their meal plans, their J-Bucks, their dining dollars, all of their other access to goods and services. There is a line on the back of this card that invites anyone who finds it to drop it in any mailbox, and we pay the postage to have it returned. That happens on a regular basis. I return it to the student. They can use it as a visual ID, get students discounts off campus with it, but it can never be reactivated in our systems on campus. Once it's been retired in our system, it's permanently retired. Our systems are forward compatible, but not backwards compatible. So that works out really well for them. We want to protect them. If they drop a $5 bill on the sidewalk, you can't shut it off. We can shut off their dining dollars in their J-Box and protect that for them. So I'm happy to do that. Happy to also secure their resident halls from other people getting in and using it. Our J-Box program is another thing I want to talk about real quick. J-Box is meant to take the place of cash on campus. So instead of having to carry quarters for the laundry and dimes and nickels for copying or printing, they can pre-deposit dollars in their J-Box account and just swipe their card to get that done for themselves. The average student will go through about $40 a semester. That's a lot of laundry. Laundry's $1 a wash and $1 a dry. They do have access to print credits when they come on campus. So when they swipe their card, they'll be able to do a certain amount of printing on campus. If and when that credit runs out, then it will hit their J-Box. All of the programs on campus are set up to favor the student. So it's going to use up their dining dollars before it goes to J-Box. It's going to use up their print credits before it goes to J-Box. They're all set to favor the student. There are no fees associated with the program. Your student gets to their senior year, there's $25 or more in the program, they just come in and ask us for a refund. We're happy to do that. Anything less than that, we ask that they spend it before they leave campus. Most of the students they figured it out by the time they're seniors and they just spend it right on down so that as they're graduating, they just sail right on out the campus store. Can I answer any questions about the card or any of the programs?
So the secondary card, can you spell out the secondary card?
It's called a Parent Connection card,
Yeah, and that has.
and it just has your student's information on the front and phone numbers on the back. And you can have as many as you want.
And how you put more money into the J-Box?
You can do that following the website, and you can put money on the student's account.
Okay, I'm just curious as to why you separated those two things as two different things.
I'm sorry, what?
J-Box and dining dollars. I'm just curious as to why they're separate.
Dining dollars are associated with the meal plans.
I understand.
And as the students mature through the program, they're not required to have a meal plan.
Okay.
And yet they still want to do
Okay.
things on campus with cash, right? They still
Yeah.
have photocopying to do, they still have, they still want to go to the intramural sports events, they still want to do the yoga class, whatever the case may be. They still have a need to spend cash on campus, so they are separated. And J-Box never goes away, because they can choose a separate meal plan, choose a different one every semester. That's why their dining dollars are different than their J-Box.
So you really don't have cash,
There's not a need for cash on
Not a
campus
need.
per se.
but you could pay it at the J for cash if you chose.
Right, right, right.
Now, can they use their, could the student use a debit card to put money on?
Yes, so
The US Bank?
Sodexo uses branded cards in their system. Follett uses branded cards in their system. Most of our vending machines, I'm going to say most of our Pepsi machines use a branded card, a MasterCard, Visa branded card. A few of our snack machines do, not many. I think there's only about 6 of them that do. Otherwise, they don't accept a branded card. The laundry machines do not. So the laundry machines, you're either going to do J-Box or cash. The photocopy machines and the printers only do card. They do not do cash.
US Bank account is not linked to that card.
So the U.S. Bank, right, if the U.S. Bank account is meant to minimize ATM transactions for parents. Some of our students come from areas where they were coming to campus and they were incurring because they don't have a local branch. They were running up high ATM fees. So go home, figure out where your student can get cash if they want cash without encountering ATM fees. You can probably find that out on your bank's website or by having a conversation with your banker. If you don't have a branch, for example, Bank of America does not have a local branch, bring a checkbook with you. You can write out a check in the business office Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. for $200. So your student can do that. If you find after a semester that your student is really racking up the ATM fees, then I would seriously consider U.S. Bank. They're a great group to work with. We've worked with them for 12, 14 years now. They're a great group to work with. There is no fees for their account. But there are other, I mean, they're there to be a service to you, not vice versa.
And then, this discussion also mentioned the credit union, with the subject of social
The
institutions.
credit union is associated with us in name only. They were started in the 60s. They have a branch here on campus. They have another branch up on Dodge, 32nd, 33rd and Dodge. And they have a very large presence in the community, but beyond the Omaha community, then they don't have a very large presence.
And then the J-Bucks, you can put as many J-Bucks on.
You can put as many on as you want, but frankly, Dad, if your student is like mine, the more I put in it, the more she spent. So yeah, I would only put in, I guess I would start with the $40, $50, unless you're gonna use it for books in the bookstore. And then use it as a budgeting tool. Let them figure it out. Use it as a budgeting tool.
Okay, so we just linked ours to US Bank.
Mhm.
How will we know when he swipes if it's J-Bucks or dining dollars?
On campus, our system is a closed transaction system. It's gonna always favor the student, and it's gonna come out of his dining dollars or her J-Bucks or his or her print credit. Okay, it's always gonna favor the student. Off campus, when you use this card and it's connected to your US Bank ATM, there's no MasterCard or Visa logo on here. It is PIN-driven transactions only. So they're gonna have to enter their 4-digit PIN in order to
So
complete
on
that
campus,
transaction.
if he's out of J-Bucks and $9, he'll know because he'll have to enter his PIN.
On campus, it won't really serve him as a US Bank card, right? Because the Sodexo, well, now ours does. Now you can stick in a EMB chip card and put in a PIN number. So on campus, he's gonna use his dining dollars or J-Bucks, and if he swipes his card and there's not enough funds, it'll come back and tell him.
He uses the dining dollars first if they're
Yeah.
at a food location, and then it goes to their J-Bucks if they don't have any more dining dollars. And then it would just tell him he would be putting his PIN
Yep,
in and his
yep.
stuff. Okay.
And so
Yep.
there's no pin for the J-Bucks?
No pin for the
Anybody can
on-campus,
swipe
right.
anybody's card and know it.
At the cashiers always do a visual check and make sure that the
laundry or something.
smile laundry, yeah.
That'd be better.
Yeah, you could take your roommate's card if they left it on their desk and go do your laundry with their J-Bucks, I suppose, but.
US Bank will send you a
Right. In addition to.
Correct.
So, that's not something that's ever reported to me, though. I mean, I don't get those situations.
And how will we know what the balance of this is?
You can log on to the website.
Just log on the website, okay.
You can log on to the
Will
website.
that also be on the university?
No.
So it's a separate.
It's a separate website.
Okay.
But it does have their meal plans, it does have, how many meal plans they've used, and it does have their J-Bucks, it does have their dining dollars.
Does the student need to give us authorization to look at that, like the other things, or can we go
I
on
think they do, but it works the same way as the Nest does.
So it's not on the NES where you have all
Correct.
the fees.
Right.
And
Right.
tuition and grades.
Correct.
What is that?
The two systems are two separate systems, they're not married. They're not compatible with each other. The other thing is too, these are just simple meal plan transactions. What is stored in your student's record on Nest is a lot more personal and secure with it's tied to your FAFSA, there's a whole lot more personal information, and it just, for security purposes, you would want all of that grouped together.
What's the name of this site where they get permission?
If you just go to cardservices.creighton.edu,
And then do kids use lanyards, or how do they keep track of these?
they certainly can hook a lanyard to this.
Do most of them do that, or do they just stick it in their bag?
It's 50-50, it's personal choice. You see a little bit of both. Mike, I think I've taken up most of your time.
That's a little wallet, you close it up.
Yep.
Folds up.
Yep.
Second question, the PIN number, when you set up the account, is that when you?
Yes, when they're given their accounts and their accounts are activated, they can swipe their card in a US Bank ATM and go to other services. And in the other services, then that's where they can set up their new PIN number.
How can you put more money on there, like, for, say, they
For
run out?
J-Bucks, you
Yeah.
can log on to the website.
And then you just do it online?
Yep.
So you don't have
Online
to have
with
a
a branded
US
card.
Bank account?
No, you do not. No, it's like the basement step being separate from the dining room picture and the garage door.
So if a student had a debit card for US Bank, would they open another account here in Omaha?
Nope. All they have to do is present their Creighton ID card to one of the US Bank representatives downstairs and ask for it to be linked. If they already have a US Bank account.
When do you sign up for the meal plan? When you find out you're moving?
At the meal plan, I think the meal plan happens after they register for classes. Then that part of the nest will open up to them and then they can sign up for a meal plan. Mike, rescue me. I'm taking up all of his time. He was the long-winded one in the last session. If you do have any other questions, though, I'll be hanging out over here through the rest of the afternoon and at the information fair, and you can always find me downstairs at Card Services. Thank you.
Good afternoon, I'm Mike Ryder, I'm the Director of Public Safety. Arrived here at Creighton 6 months ago, almost 7 now in December. I just retired from 26 years with the Air Force, where I did law enforcement and security all over the world, starting right here at Offutt Air Force Base in '91 and ended up in Florida. But I wanted to get away from that hot weather. So during my time, basically law enforcement and security almost the entire career, except for 2 years where I went back to the Air Force Academy, my alma mater, and I worked with the cadets there, leading the cadet squadron. The reason I tell you that isn't about me, it's about what I can offer to your students. And there's two things. First, I've spent my entire adult life leading and working with people that are young men and women that are the same age as your students. And I love working with that age group. I love the enthusiasm, the excitement that they bring to campus. And I want to help them to keep that positive attitude as they enter this important transition from high school kid to an adulthood. The other part is I'd like to offer myself as a potential mentor for whether your student is away from home for the first time and they don't have somebody to talk to about some of these transition issues. I'd like to be there for them. I've led a lot of young men and women through struggles that they go through. Believe it or not, sometimes folks in this age group get into trouble in some kind of small ways. I've seen a lot of folks, and I'm still in touch with a lot of those young men and women who are now successful in life, and they made some really dumb mistakes early in their Air Force careers, and I was able to help them work through that, learn from it, and grow through it. And they took some lumps, but in the end, they're now really successful people, and I'd like to be able to offer that to you, to your students. But I'm also a parent of a college-age daughter. My daughter is a sophomore, not here, but at another university. And so I know that as parents, you really don't care about what I've done in the past. What you really want to hear is what am I going to do, and my team is going to do to take care of your students for the next 4 years or maybe even longer. So I'll tell you a little bit about my team. I have 23 uniformed public safety officers. We are not a sworn law enforcement agency, so we don't have arrest powers, but we are armed. So we do carry Glocks. We patrol 24/7, 365. We're patrolling whether the students are here or not, day or night, even on breaks. We patrol on bike, on foot, or in vehicles all over these 140 acres. Now, 23 uniformed personnel for this big of a campus isn't a huge number, so we try and multiply our presence through the use of the technology that we have. So Brenda mentioned we have a lot of card access. We have over 700 areas where your students will swipe to come through doors. That gives us a good way to keep track of people. Brenda has told me that while your students are awake, on average every 90 minutes they will swipe somewhere on this campus. And we've used that quite often just in the 6 months I've been here to find people quickly. I believe somebody mentioned, I didn't see who it was, but if somebody takes your card, we actually did have that happen. Somebody dropped their card, somebody else went and bought some snacks. Within an hour we had them in custody and had a confession, and they gave the card back. And so we can find people quickly, or we can find who's using your son or daughter's card very quickly. The other thing we use is cameras. There's over 330 cameras spread out all across this campus. But I've come from the Air Force where we love cameras, and so I wasn't satisfied with that. So as soon as I got here, I started pushing. We're about ready to award a contract for a new video surveillance management system. We're moving to a new building in about 6 weeks, and when we move in, we're going to have this new system online because I want to be able to be more proactive with our cameras. Right now, it's very good reactive. I can tell you what happened, but I don't want to just tell you what happened. I want to be able to see what's going on right now and try to intervene if there's something going on that we need to stop. It's almost right on cue that this is buzzing, because one of the things that I'm also doing is, you've probably seen we have blue light emergency phones all over campus. All the campuses in the country pretty much have those. We have them 50 plus. You can push the button, you can talk to my dispatcher, but I hate them. I really don't think that that's what we need to have here. That's great technology from the 1990s, and a lot of schools are actually getting rid of them. The University of Colorado Boulder got rid of theirs already. UConn is probably getting rid of theirs. I'm not ready to get rid of ours, but I want to add something else, and that's a mobile device, because 95% of your students are carrying a smartphone. I don't want them to have to outrun somebody who's potentially giving them a hard time and have to get to a blue phone. I want them to use what they already are carrying. But despite the weather today, you may be surprised to hear it gets cold in Omaha. So your students walking home 2 in the morning from the library, they're going to have gloves on. So they're not going to be able to use the phone in an emergency. Plus, I don't want them walking around with their $600 Samsung 9 and showing everybody, hey, I got a nice phone here you can try and steal from me. I want them to put the phone away. I want them to be looking around, and they can have their gloves on, but I want them to carry this. So you're the second group of folks that I get to tell about this, because I've been fighting for 5 months, and I got approval this week to be able to say that we're going to offer these this fall to our students. So there's a lot of apps that are out there, some Live Safe or Life 360 or some of them, and you can pay a really low fee to be able to have an emergency button on your phone. And it'll look something like that. And you're in an emergency, you can take your gloves off, and you can open your phone, and you can push that button and call for 911. Well, I don't want that. I want them to just carry this, and with 3 clicks, and this one's dead so that I don't keep bugging my dispatcher. It's Bluetooth connected to your phone, and as soon as you activate it, it calls my dispatcher, as long as you're on campus. I'll draw a line on where our campus boundary is. If you're outside that area, if you're on spring break, you're at home, you're at the West Roads Mall, it'll go to local 911. But anywhere on campus, it'll go to my dispatcher. There's a microphone and a speaker in here. They'll be talking to my dispatcher within a few seconds through this phone, just as if they had called 911. So that's nice, but I wanted more. So the other thing it does that really sets this application apart is that it transmits your geolocation, and it pops up on my screen at dispatch. So it makes this horrible screeching noise to get our attention, pops up a Google map with a pin of where you are, and that pin will follow you. And we've tested it here on campus this spring, and it will follow you until my officer makes contact with you and says, are you okay? But that wasn't enough either. I wanted more. So it also pushes your profile. And so you put in a profile with your photograph, your emergency contact info, and if you want to put any medical information that we might need if we call you an emergency. We don't see that information unless you call us. But for example, this past winter, we had some students with diabetes, or excuse me, with epilepsy. They could feel that this seizure was coming on. They called us, and fortunately, we were able to get there quickly. But with this, they could just click the button, and even if we never heard them speak, we would know they're right there, and we need to go there. And oh, by the way, on the profile it says they have, seizures, and so we know what we're responding to before we even get on scene. So those are some of the neat features that we're going to be offering this fall. The other feature, there's 2 other features that I think are great for a college environment. First one's a walking escort. So before you leave the library, and you say, or maybe you're studying here in this building. A lot of students studying here at night. So it says right here, that's where I am right now. I'm going to go over here to Gallagher because that's where I live. So I click and drop a pin there. And I say, that should take me about 10 minutes to get there because I'm a little tired. I hit start, and I start walking. We're not tracking you yet. We don't know where you're going or where you've been unless you don't make it. So at the 10-minute mark, the If this phone is not where that pin is, it initiates an alert. My dispatcher gets another screeching alert, and it pops up with a pin, and it shows not only where they are now, but where they've been and where they were trying to go. And so we'll look, and then we'll call you. Hey, you put in this walking escort and you didn't make it. And then we see they're at Starbucks, and we're like, oh, okay, you stopped to get coffee, you got talking, you forgot about it, no problem. Or they don't answer. We know where they are, and we're gonna follow them until we get to them and make sure that we resolve the issue. So that's a great one for the campus, and really anywhere, because they can use that walking escort anywhere around the city. The other thing that you can do is, there are gonna be occasions where a student might be doing something, sure, not your student, but maybe a friend of your student is underage drinking, and they don't want public safety to come rolling in there, but they need help. They need somebody to come help bail them out. So we have an option that it's basically like a lower level alert. You hold it for 5 seconds, and you pre-program it ahead of the situation and say, if I do this, I want it to send a text or send an email to my best friend. So maybe mine is, I hold it for 5 seconds, and then it sends a text to, somebody, and it says, hey, get me out of this situation, here's where I am. And it has a link, and they can click that link, it'll pop up Google Maps and show exactly where you are. A situation might occur where your son or daughter's at a bar, and this person just won't leave them alone. They don't need police intervention, they just need a friend, a wingman. They hold it, and it sends that message. It says, hey, get this guy off me. And their friend gets that, and then they can come intervene. Because really, I don't want any obstacle to prevent them from asking for help. I'd like to be the one that gives them that help, but I don't have to be. If they can get help from their friend, that's what I really want. I don't want to have a situation like they had at Penn State this past January, where a student was in a really bad situation, but because they didn't want to get anybody else in trouble, nobody was called, and the student ended up dying. Let's see. You can't tell I'm really excited about that. It was really a lot of sales, a lot of work to try and convince everybody, but I think it's going to be a great addition. We'll be offering those this fall, and we're going to offer them a reduced price, and it'll be a one-time fee, and then you can use it for the rest of, not just your Creighton career, but really can take it with you anywhere. We're going to jump a little bit to transportation. That's not something that my department offers, but it's directly related to safety. So there's 2 options, and if you need to leave to get to your next session at 3, please do. I'll probably still be talking, but just feel free to get up. Transportation has 2 main things. You have the shuttle and you have the J-Ride. Shuttle just follows a set route. It goes mostly on campus, a couple blocks in every direction, main places that your students might congregate. It's a predictable schedule. You can look it up on the app and see exactly where the shuttle is, so you know how long you might be waiting. And that runs early in the evening. Later in the evening, it shifts to J-Ride, which is basically like an Uber. You call in a number, you say, I'm here, I want to go there, anywhere within their rider area, they come get you. There's 2 of those, and you can also look up where the J-Rides are and see where they are at any moment. And you can get rides anywhere around the campus. If both those options are out, 4 in the morning, J-Rides all, they've gone to bed, my guys are not sleeping. Somebody's always here. So your student never has to walk anywhere alone. Make sure they hear that that we'll come walk with them. We may give them a ride, but we can't guarantee a ride. And that's the part that the students don't seem to hear. Especially when they call at 5:58 and they have maybe a work shift here in this building at 6, and they're like, I need to get a ride, and I'm in Gallagher and I need to be at Harbor Center in 2 minutes. I need you, get here. We might be able to do it, but we can't guarantee that. We can't guarantee somebody will come walk with them, but it might be on our timeline, not theirs. But on a serious note, I don't want anybody, especially at the beginning, if you don't know Omaha, you're not sure, I don't care if it's noon and you're just walking up from here to the, McGloin Hall. If they're not comfortable, just call and have them walk with us. We enjoy the chance to get to know your student, and hopefully they'll get to know us, and just get them comfortable before they venture out somewhere on their own. Talk a little bit about, let's see, what are the most important things I know I went over. I'll talk briefly about privacy. The Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act, FERPA. Has anybody heard that? Talk to you about FERPA? So, a few heads. So basically, your student's disciplinary record is part of their educational record. They get to decide who I can talk to about that. So if your son or daughter says, I can't talk to you about their disciplinary issues, I can't talk to you. Doesn't matter if you're paying their tuition, doesn't matter if they're a minor. If they're a student here and they say, no, I can't talk to you.